Last week of spring ball, guys. Last week coming up. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Whatever you want, you got to earn. Whatever you want, you got to earn. You want to be a starter, you got to earn it. Ain't nobody going to give it to you. All right, you want to be conference champions, you got to earn it. Ain't nobody going to give it to you. Whatever you want, you have to earn. And you got one more week of spring ball to come out here and earn something.
The spring is an opportunity to make a mark and earn a spot on this team. And the best way to do that is to show what you can do on the field. It's time for Scrimmage 2.
It's Scrimmage number 2, we about to turn it up. You know what it is, man. Welcome to Uptown. Oh!
It took for us to get slapped in the mouth a little bit, a couple big plays like you talked about, for us to settle down and be like, hey, no, we got this, we can respond, let's go out there and win.
I feel like the offense, we came out ready. We had it on our mind that we were gonna make big plays and that we were gonna show why we feel like that we are some of the best wide receivers in the country.
You can't just walk out here and think that things are gonna happen on its own. You look at any great defense, they came out and they played with emotion. They played with grit, they played with some type of attitude. And that particular day, that particular scrimmage, I don't think we came out with that manner.
It's just really a mentality. We all got to come together and want it together as a whole. And I feel like that's going to benefit us all in the long run. Once the Lions stop in the run, they don't have no choice but to throw the ball. And then we got playmakers in the back end. Where it is ones, twos, threes, we all can make plays. And we all got the ability to be out there on the field, I feel like. So once the D-line stops them, it's just the DBs, and we got it from there.
The defense goes the way the D-linemen go. That's why I say we try to be the hardest working defensive line unit out there. Say if they see me like not going as hard, the linebackers or the secondary might say, I'm not gonna go as hard, you know? Because we set the tone of the defense. Because we in the forefront, you know? Because we gotta be the most physical dominant group on the field.
Last week of spring ball, guys. Last week coming up. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Whatever you want, you got to earn. Whatever you want, you got to earn. You want to be a starter, you got to earn it. Ain't nobody going to give it to you. All right, you want to be conference champions, you got to earn it. Ain't nobody going to give it to you. Whatever you want, you have to earn. And you got one more week of spring ball to come out here and earn something.
Men up front know better than anyone that you have to earn every inch in this game. But we don't just want to play, we want to win in the trenches.
The offensive line is the one position group on offense that doesn't need anybody else to do their job really well at a high level. Whereas the quarterback needs the O-line to play well. The running backs need the O-line to play well. The receivers need the O-line to play well. The O-line, the only thing they need to play well is each other. I'm very grateful from a coaching staff perspective to have Dan Rochar and to have Evan McKissick really leading the charge. We're fortunate to have two high-quality coaches in that room. But those guys being a brotherhood, a group, is vital to your offensive success. And I don't care what scheme you run offensively. If you're good up front, you're physical up front, you're tough up front, you got a chance to win. And I think the O-line group typically sets the tone for the physicality and the toughness of your football team.
Coach Rochard and Coach McKissick, man, are awesome. You know, I feel like it's a awesome situation, not just for me, but for that whole room. You know, you have two guys in there. One guy that's been in the NFL for a long time. You have one guy that's been in college for a long time. And you know, when you have both these guys in the room together, it's like two scientists in one.
Tell you what, I think it's a multitude of things. The culture in that room is good because of the people that are in that room. Coach Sumrall always says, you know, good people make better players, and we totally believe that.
Coach Roshar compares it to a pro-style offensive line room because we have 3 people working with the offensive line, so we definitely get personalized and more help than other position groups on the team.
The growing has actually been pretty great. You know, it's been a sequence. I feel like, you know, in the springtime, every Saturday would come in and we would do extra work, you know, and the first Saturday it was 3 guys. The next Saturday it was 5 guys, the next one was 6, 7, 8. Guys kept coming in every other weekend and they kept adding on, and you know, I feel like it was great.
Yeah, there's not a day that you can walk over there and walk by mints or in the weight room and the guy's not stretching or get an extra lift, and because, you know, at the end of the day, man, you know, that's their product that goes on the field. And so we're excited about that. We got to continue to keep motivating that as we get closer and closer to the fall.
It's almost like a cheat code for us. You know, the more we get out there, the more we benefit from it in the long run. And like I said, you know, it's a blue collar mindset. You know, you got to come to work every day. You got to have your lunch packed. You got to be ready to work. You got to be ready to go. You know, this game isn't easy. It's not for everybody, and you know, especially for our position, it's hard.
Offensive linemen, they love to run the ball. That just shows our offensive line is dominating their defense, and if you get the ball running, that opens up. They're having to bring linebackers down and plug these holes, and that's just going to open up the pass game.
Each day, man, if you can compete with yourself, if you present enough toughness, if you have the physicality to take challenges head on, and you're a smart guy and you know how to do it, then you're going to be in a good spot. And so when you get 5 of those guys acting in that manner, you're really unstoppable.
The offensive line sets a standard for how we want to play, and we take that very seriously in all aspects of the game. And offensive line is a very technical position too, so we have to be very sharp with our fundamentals, and the only way to do that is put in the work. And we feel if we come out there and we practice hard and everybody see us putting in work, then they're going to put in the work and they're going to practice even harder.
We're looking for effort, we're looking for toughness, we're looking for physicality, we're looking for that competitiveness to win our one-on-one battles. Because at the end of the day, the O-line, we don't get a lot of credit. You know, they don't get a lot of credit. And those guys bust their tails. And so they're putting their bodies on the line for an exchange for a greater reward for team success. And all 4 of those elements should be exhibited in our play with a green wave.
Becoming a team doesn't just happen overnight.
Family on 2, family on 2. Happy birthday, Tank. 1, 2.
It takes time and effort on and off the field. Getting to know the men that are fighting beside you is the most important part of building a culture.
This is my boy Landry from New Orleans. He has a twin brother. We both said that Kevin was pretty trash. And then he said just live every day like it's your last.
Break Bread Brother is an idea that I stole from a good friend of mine named Dean Hood. Dean's always been really intentional about just connectivity, team culture, and cohesion. We really started to use it with our team just to increase connectivity amongst our roster.
It's designed to get our guys just to get to know each other a little bit better. I think it's very important these days to do that with a lot of team changes and the transfer portal. And when you know your teammates better, sometimes you tend to play a little bit harder for them. You just remember that you have a brother alongside of you when you're out there in the field, and when things are getting hard, you can look to the side and pull some extra strength out.
Like outside your position room, you don't really, and outside the locker room, you don't really get to talk to people as much. So like that give you a chance to like get to know people that you don't usually like talk to a lot.
You would randomly get assigned a random teammate. You got to eat at some point during the week with them. And we have questions, just questions to help learn about our teammates.
I think our goal is to get closer with people we're not so much comfortable with. Like I've been paired up with linemen, and it's just the fact that I don't talk to them much, and I don't even see them that much, but it's like I get to know them on a personal level, and I feel like overall as we keep doing it, it's gonna get the team more closer. Like it's gonna be a real brother to us at the end of it.
You know, the old adage, the true soldier will fight harder for what's behind him than what's against him or what's in front of him. And so it's about knowing each other. It's about doing life together. It's about really just believing each other, knowing their story, and so that you have that shared relational component. And so I think that over time that carries you much further than just your on-field talent.
We always have the offense and the defense meet with each other because those are the guys that you tend to know the least about, the guys across the ball from you. So you can see at practice, the guys that are on offense and defense they'll go take each other out. It's a normal practice, it's football. But you tend to see those guys just, instead of leaving their brother on the ground, they're going and helping them up a little bit more, cracking jokes with guys that they haven't cracked jokes with before, things like that, because you kind of get to know just a little bit more detail about your team.
My dad told me to do that from Phoenix. He told me his dog's on depression meds.
You can tell people was having fun with it because people had entertaining answers.
Sam is from Baton Rouge. Exactly. He told me Baton Rouge. His nasty.
You got to know people better, and it kind of we at the age now we don't have to talk to people. So for them to take time out their day to go have fun and talk with a teammate to get to know them a little personally, I feel like that's important, and it's kind of stood out.
The D-line is often the position group that plays the hardest, but we want to be more than just that. We want to be the hardest working, most technically sound group on the field.
Last drill right here, bump combo. Cam, get a bump. You know what's coming. If you want, you can work your feet if you want. But body control, be on the opposite side, one on each side.
Yeah, D&D, that's my philosophy. Discipline, not desire, determines our destiny. That's the first thing I try to instill in any group I coach, whether it be on the field, off the field, classroom, and life in general. I came into college playing D-line and moved to O-line, and then I remember everybody saying D-linemen just play hard, and where O-line was more technical. And then as I started coaching, I realized that people put a lot of emphasis at the quarterback position and the O-line position on technique. So I asked myself, why can D-line not have elite technique as well and play hard? So I pride myself on having guys that have good technique and play through the whistle to dominate in every area of the game.
We most definitely gonna have a physical game. We strive to be the hardest working group out there. We look to be the force of the defense. For me, I just want to leave something behind where I was the guy that was always in for our unit and most of all for our team.
How you do anything is how you do everything. I'm a firm believer in that, and I've been telling those guys from day one that I'm a coach to small, minute details, from hand placement to first step to pad level to eyes, and that was our emphasis for the whole spring. We have violent hips, violent hands. Let's be elite with our technique to match our elite effort.
Gonna be a double team with no linebacker. Who can hold the point? Who can dominate the drill? You know it's a double team. You know there's no linebacker. Who gonna fight? Who gonna quit? Who gonna be the first person to bow?
And game changers and game wreckers on the defensive line that cause havoc really make offensive coordinators and offensive staffs have to evaluate, all right, how are we gonna block this guy? What are we gonna do to maybe slow him down? And if you already are having to figure out how to slow somebody down on the front level, it makes guys on the second and third level that much better, because now they're not really even thinking about how do we get something to them. They're just thinking about how do we stop the guy right at the line of scrimmage.
Inside the drill is a team run period, thinking more of a short yardage opportunity. It's in a confined space. Everybody knows this run. O-line knows, D-line knows, linebackers know, running backs know. It's a chance to come out there and perfect your technique in a physical, violent period and see who can win one-on-ones and who can make a tackle and who can break a tackle.
I've done a lot of talking about sacks and getting after the quarterback. Well, in order for something like that to happen, we have to stop the run. And this inside drill that comes into play is opportunity to just be sound when it comes to technique, because you're gonna have to put your face mask on somebody else and get off blocks and make a play to stop the run.
Think about inside as like something, it just feel like something just gotta click. And first thing I think of every time is like this knockback. Creating a new line of scrimmage, just being physical.
And it helps instill that mentality of always be physical and violent and dominant. And guys can't hide during inside, right? You come to that period, you can't hide. And if you're afraid to be physical and firm, it's gonna show up on tape. Nobody wants to get embarrassed in front of the team, so everybody comes out and gives their best effort
and one of the more physical periods of the day on a daily basis.
Scared over there in the white jersey, man.
We always want to be on tape the most violent, dominant, feared group. When people watch us, we want to put fear in their hearts. We want to show up, not really worry about the stat sheet. We want the coaches to watch the film and say, man, that D-line plays hard, fast, physical, and violent.
Like when I say 10 toes, people, some of them make a joke. I say 10 toes because I'm all in. Whatever happens, like I'm in. Good, bad, ugly, I'm in. Like I'm in for the team. And that's why I try to let them know, like coming from me, I'm here. Like I'm not backing down for nothing with y'all, so.
Man, you can't have enough guys like Eric that be 10 toes down, meaning they're gonna do their job regardless of what is asked of them. Because D-line, sometimes your ass take on a double or triple team, so somebody else is free. But you gotta be willing to be selfless and sacrifice for the good of the team. And when you got guys like him that are willing to do it at a high level on a consistent basis, it's a chance for defense to be successful.
As spring football comes to a close, it's important to pay tribute to the men in the olive and blue who came before us.
Yeah, I think our alumni have been very fun to engage with and get to know. I knew many of the guys before I returned. You know, one of the great things for me was at my press conference, seeing former players that I had coached here show up for my media availability that day.
Hi, I'm Sam Schofield. I played defensive back at Tulane from 2011 to 2014.
My name is Jared Franklin. I played football at Tulane from 2013, 2017, and I played defensive back.
One of the most memorable parts of my time at Tulane, junior and senior year, we had a really, really good defense.
At the time, Coach Sumrall, he was a young guy, probably in his 20s, if I could guess. And he was always with the defensive line. That was his position, and he was also a part of our defensive coordinating team. So
Coach Sumrall was always a really high energy guy.
He was almost like a player because of the amount of energy he brought. So he was just always very energetic.
You know, what's really funny is I grew up in Lafayette, an LSU fan, and he was on the field when LSU beat Kentucky in that Bluegrass Miracle. And I told him as a kid, like I remember that was one of my, a memory of like jumping up and down when that happened. And he was like, yeah, I was on the field crying.
I really got to sit down with him a lot. Got to talk about schemes, talk about plays, and I was really young myself. I was a freshman, so you know, just trying to learn from him as much as I could. But he was always very responsive. He would always talk to everybody. Just a nice guy.
You know, having an on-campus stadium and all the great things that are coming right now with our program, that's a testament to the past and the success that those guys have created. And so, yeah, it was a lot of fun to see a lot of familiar faces. Everything you do in this game, it's about the players. And when you get an opportunity to really just spend quality time with former players and tell them thank you, it just gives you a little bit of extra energy as a coach, because it gives you such an appreciation for what we get to do every day and the way we get an opportunity to impact the lives of the young men we coach daily. And so it really humbles you and motivates you to be your best every time you walk into this building.
Having Coach Sumrall step in is a perfect person to replace. I think he's going to do amazing wonders for the program, and that he's going to continue that high bar.
You only get one spring, and this is what it has all been about. Proving yourself and earning a spot on this team. This is the most anticipated spring game in Tulane football history. So let's put on a show.
We with order today, yeah.
Go, we here.
Don't talk about it, be about it. Everybody got it.
I'll tell you, in the spring game, we didn't start out very fast. Defense got after us. I was excited to see how we responded. You know, we have some explosive players on the edges as well as inside the tackles.
It's hard. It's going to be hard at no matter what level at college to score. So when you do get the opportunity to score, you need to show that emotion, show like that you care about it, show the appreciation for your team, because that touchdown doesn't happen without the O-line blocking, without the quarterback throwing a good ball, without me running the right route.
We had some guys that we depended on, that we are going to depend on, that actually showed up and like, yeah, he is what we thought he is. And then we had some guys that stepped in and actually made a name for themselves as well, to where it's somebody that we can depend on. Now, we still have a lot of work to do. I feel like we still need to continue to work on some technique pieces within what we're doing schematically, but you could see some things really coming together that'll give us a chance to have a really good year.
We're really ready to get this season started, really. And the spring game was just like the very first little glimpse of what we can do and what we're ready to do.
Here in Uptown, we don't just end spring football with an old post-game meal. We have the greatest post-game meal in all of college football, our annual family crawfish bowl.
Yeah, we talk a lot about being a family environment, and to be able to host our players' families right after the spring game up on the Westfeld deck and have a crawfish bowl. What other way would you celebrate the finish of spring in New Orleans than that?
Just to see everyone coming together, see everybody family, you get to meet like some of your teammates, family members, coming together and spending some time, like that really, plays a big part in this game of football.
A fantastic event, really well run. The guys that put that on, the crawfish was amazing. That was an absolute blast. I took some home.
It's funny because the trainer, Alyssa, she was like, I had seen her as I was heading out. She was like, that was my first time ever eating crawfish. And she was like, yeah, it was pretty good, but it was kind of weird because she can't really eat nothing that she feel like is looking at her, so I felt that kind of funny.
A great time. Always love seeing our players' families. Always enjoy getting to see them interact with their families and just get to know them better. All these guys are ours and we love them all and care about them all deeply, and to be able to spend time with them and just see them connect and engage with their families was a lot of fun.
Just like that, spring football is over. Statements have been made and spots have been earned, but we still have a long way to go.
I'll tell you what, a lot of guys can say, hey, we're going to set the tone. We let our guys set the tone at the very beginning of this. They set their goals. Our goals were physicality, accountability, and just next man up. At times during this spring phase, man, we took some of those down if we weren't exhibiting amongst all of us. We want to be accountable to each other and learning the playbook, learning this new offense. We wanted to present physicality, whether it was in the run game or pass protection. And then, the last aspect is next man up, man. We encouraged some guys go down here and there, the next man goes up. And so that was exciting to see overall, because at times during this whole phase, we get to the spring game, some of those words were no longer on the board. And so they had to earn that right to put it back up there. But those guys set those standards.
Basically your IQ, your vision, I think we have a lot of guys that are really smart, that understand the game to a high level, I think. But I think it could go up another step, another notch. I think we can pick it up, and go further with it.
This summer we can't take lightly. Like this is me and Pat's last year here, and so we want to leave a foundation for the guys behind us and let them know that we didn't leave on a bad note.
I still think we have a little bit of growth to go from a toughness perspective. Our mindset's got to be more resilient, and we've got to be maybe tighter as a team. We've got to become a closer knit group as a whole.
We want to be the best versions of ourselves that we can be day in and day out, whether that's in the weight room, on the practice field, in the classroom. We're ready to be what we know we can be.
Like, we had this mindset to just kill what's in front of us. Like, when we line up next up to the opponent, we gotta be like, oh, I'm finna win, no matter what it is.
And so we gotta work this off-season summer to get what we want. Nothing's gonna be given to us. Everything gotta be earned, so the work we put in the summer is gonna translate to what we do on the field this fall.
You could see some things really coming together that'll give us a chance to have a really good year. So if we could just build off of that going into the summer, now we'll have a chance at making a little noise for the season.
I don't think we have an identity yet. I don't. You know, I think we're on a point to go into an identity. I think, you know, we just got done with phase 2. You know, we're gonna go into phase 3, and that's the summer. Phase 4 is your season. You know, in the summertime, you know, we're gonna have some new faces in the room. You know, freshmen, maybe transfers. You know, you're gonna see who you have and what you got. You're gonna see who shows up. You're gonna see who steps down. You know, I think that part right there is important. You know, spring's important, man. You know, you see all your players you have. You see what you have in the rooms, and you see what you got, you know. I like to say ammunition, you know, what you have around you. But I feel like, you know, when that summertime hits, you know, phase 3, and we're able to see, you know, how we come and how we respond, you know, going to summer workouts, how we respond going into camp is what we're gonna be able to know, what we have going into the fall.
The spring has been a time to grow and learn together. From beating the gauntlet to the most anticipated spring game in Tulane football history, and we are just getting started. We can't wait to see you in the fall.
Hey, big shout out. If y'all don't know him, this is John.
This is Mario, not Mario. If you don't know him, number 4.
Hey, hashtag sweetheart.
Cupcake.
No, hey, no.
Does he look like the funniest on the team?
You know who I said was the funniest on the team? You. You're my boy.
I was just looking at the
Yes, sir.
Well, last day of spring practice, bro. We about to go get in there. Oh my God, bro. I be feeling like I'm really like, I really feel like I'm pushing 30. Real life.
Trying to fill the Western Center with trophies. See you, let's get it. We gon' grind for it. It's what it takes to win. We ain't trying to lose.